Hey, what's up, everybody? Benji Bruce here, speakinglifestyle.com. Now, I got this email, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's basically what it said. It's like, I've been sending cold emails for a long time, for a while. I've been getting the initial response back, but I haven't been closing the gigs. So it's like, how do I close the gigs? Like, what am I doing wrong here? There's a few things you could be doing wrong. So let me tell you what those things are. One, your emails are bad. Your emails suck. Like, you're just writing horrible emails. Like, all you have to do to see what I'm talking about is go to your LinkedIn page, look at the emails that people are sending you, the messages that people are sending you. You'll see the bad emails. You'll see people who are copying and pasting emails or email templates, sending it to you and hoping to get your business. Like, hello, sir. And like, you can see the bad ones. Or like, you probably get emails about the SEO, like, hey, we can help you with SEO, we can do an audit or whatever. You get those and you don't respond to them. They're just bad emails. And so when you send out a bad email, of course, nobody's gonna, like, it's not gonna work. So that's one thing. The other thing that I really see, the second one, is that your website sucks. Like, that's the main thing that I actually see with a lot of guys, a lot of speakers, is your website just sucks. And so you have to update the website. If you can't find a designer to do it for you, then you have to learn how to do it. No excuses. Like, I know people who know they should update their website. They've known this for months or years, and they still have a sucky ass website. If your website sucks, you will not get hired. You will not be able to charge a lot in terms of speaking. Like, it just won't happen, because you got to remember, you're sending them an email. You're saying, hey, I'm going to be a great speaker for your event. They need to see it, and that's what your website does. Your website needs to show the proof. Your website needs to show how great you are, because no matter what you say, people don't believe you. So your website needs to show how great you are, and that's what's going to get you booked. The third reason I see in terms of why people aren't actually closing the gigs is because they get off the pipeline. Now, remember, the pipeline is incoming questions, quote, contract, and closed. So an incoming lead, when they express the initial response, like the initial interest, then you move on to the questions. You ask questions about the event. After you ask questions, you quote them the price. After you quote the price, you send the contract. After that, the gig is closed. You either got it or you didn't. Now, what I see a lot of people do is they get off the pipeline. So they start talking. They say, like, hey, I'm a great speaker, or whatever, however they're pitching themselves, or they're asking questions. And then they say something like, how about we schedule a call real quick to talk about your event? It's like, where in the pipeline is schedule a call? You don't need to schedule a call to book an event. Like, what do you need to talk about on the phone that you can't talk about in the email? The email, all you need are answers to the questions in terms of the event. Like, you just need a few answers and that's it. You can give them a quote. Your website does the selling. You're not selling yourself on the phone, because once again, no matter what you say on the phone, they do not believe you. It is your website. It's your website that does the selling, like the videos and everything on your website, the testimonials where people are like, oh my goodness, you're the greatest in the world. So that's what does the selling. So I see a lot of speakers, they just go off the pipeline, and that is why they're struggling. And so don't say, like, let's schedule a call or anything like that. You want to push people through the pipeline as fast as possible. The fourth reason that I see in terms of why people aren't closing the gigs is because you're simply not doing it long enough. Like, you haven't really been cold emailing enough people in general. And so if you only email 5 people or 10 people or 20 or even 50, if you only do that, well, it's kind of like, of course it's not going to work. And if you only email within 1 week or 2 weeks, and you've only been doing it for 2 weeks, oh, my Sam is almost ready. If you've only been doing it for 2 weeks, of course you're not going to get the gig, because it's not long enough. And so that's why I tell everyone, like, I wish I would have recorded myself years ago, because, I mean, it's like I was doing it all day, every day, and I didn't stop until I just filled up the calendar. And so maybe you think it's not working because you've only emailed for 1 week. If you email for a whole month, now you're going to start seeing things. And so that's the other thing. Like, you just haven't been cold emailing long enough. You haven't reached out long enough. And then the other thing, the last one I want to mention, is that they're simply not ready to hire yet. So you get the initial response. They say, like, send us your website or whatever. But their event is 12 months from now. So it's a while, and they're just not ready to hire you yet. This is where the follow-up comes into play. So you need follow-up templates inside of your CRM. You need a systematic process. So you need to learn how to follow up because they're just not ready yet. And if you try to push it, then you're simply going to bother them. And so you have to know like when to follow up, how often follow up, little things like that. But maybe they're just not ready to hire you at this specific moment. This is what happened to me with Aflac. Like I remember when Aflac approached me at the time. When I approached Aflac and then I was talking with him, he was like, oh yeah, we're interested. Like, hey, everything's great. Like, website, everything's great. I'm like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, it was like they ghosted me. I'm like, what the hell, man? Come on, man. And so eventually, I kept following up with them, and then eventually they hired me. They hired me for multiple events. And it took like almost a year because they just weren't ready yet. And so that's what you have to remember. So those are the main reasons. The biggest thing is you have to understand that the problem is always you. So a lot of people keep saying, look, I've been cold emailing, I've been doing outreach, I've been getting an initial response, but I haven't been closing the gigs. It's not working. The cold email is not working. The problem is always you. I guarantee it. If I were to take a look at what it is you're doing, if I were to look at your website, your cold emails, if I were to look at all that, I guarantee I will find a million problems with it, and I guarantee I can help you fix it. In fact, if you want me to help fix it, join the Speak Pro Academy, speakproacademy.com. But you have to truly, truly believe that the problem is always you. Because when you believe that, you can now fix it. When you start thinking cold emailing doesn't work, what do? You go try something else. Let me go write a book. And so that's what you do if you don't think the problem is you. And so you have to master the outreach process if you want to actually start closing gigs. So remember that if you want my help, join the program, but just remember those are the main reasons. 1, your emails are bad. You're just writing bad emails. 2, your website is bad. 3, you're getting off the pipeline, telling people let's schedule a call, all that sort of stuff. You're just getting off the pipeline. 4, I actually had to look at my fingers. 4, you haven't been emailing long enough. Like after a week, you just kind of stop. You get demotivated. You haven't been emailing long enough. And 5, it's like they're just not ready to hire you yet. And then you have to automatically assume the problem is always you.